Hello, everybody. I'm happy to be back with a person who refuses to acknowledge that he's an expert yet because he says he doesn't have enough work experience. But anyhow, let's listen to him. Right now, we have with us Raj. Let's listen to Raj. Over to you, Raj.
Awesome. First of all, very thank you for having me in the discussion, sir. Like I had been uh, following you based on your repute on Quora. I know it's like the talk would be on data science, but some origins are from your side as well. So whenever I just read your answers, like I know you're putting up some data first perspective. So that's a very uh, uh, what is a kind of a motivation to see things objectively. Yeah, so let me start with my introduction. I was born in Sivakasi in Tamil Nadu. It's famous for fireworks. Uh, the year 1992, and both my parents, mom and dad, were from Sivakasi. But my maternal grandpa, who was like a biggest influence in my life, he was a person who has worked with the Indian Air Force after not getting work in Navy. So he worked there for almost 21 years at different capacities, mostly into the engineering parts of side. Uh, and then he moved into Hindustan Aeronautics Limited before in Bangalore before uh, after actually moving across all over India, like due to his nature in Indian Air Force. He has been a very good influence in my life, apart from my dad. And of course, he is no more. So I just wanted to start, and that his blessings is what I am right now. So that's where I wanted to start. Uh,
Wonderful.
yeah, so like my father was in a bank job, so he has to get more transfers in his job very frequently, like from 1 year to 3 years at different points. So I started my studies in Mumbai, a place which is very close to my heart. Two places, initially my father was deputed in Washi, and then he moved into a place called Nerul. Just before my Hindi speaking skills just took off, father was again transferred to Tamil Nadu. He was transferred to a place called Madurai, a very famous ancient city. Um, so that's where I started learning Tamil, and it was kind of uh, good and bad things happening there. Like technically, during my Tamil exams, I put erroneously. It was just class one, very small age. I would bring my Tamil test exam papers to home without because I was like really bad in Tamil at some point. Uh, Having this sort of an identity crisis starting where am I belonging to? But yeah, looking back, connecting the dots, I think I'm more Indian right now. Uh, and then my dad has transferred five more cities before I completed my class 12, totaling across seven different places while studying. So I could understand the diversity and many human behaviors as well. Like how do you get absorbed into uh, what do you say, like a culture? Many things were like shaping my life. Yeah. So meanwhile, in this parallel time, class five or six, I was fortunate enough to explore many Indian states during a tourist venture. When my dad had this uh, thing in his office, like where people could take their families on a trip. So
Yeah.
that's where we visited many North Indian states
Hmm.
like Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, Delhi, and of course Agra. Like, how could we miss with that Taj Mahal?
Hmm.
So it was a December period, and being from Tamil Nadu, it was a bit new experience to find the extreme cold environment. And of course, on the journey, I ate some Nagpur oranges as well. So adding to the good sense of diversity of India, uh, I'm just feeling blessed on exploring all those stuffs. Uh, Meantime, during class 7 to 9 was one of the best periods in life, which has been a pivot in my transition very recently to uh, the tech-oriented roles. Uh, During that time, my father asked me to pursue a small software-related course in a a local educational institute called Aptech. That's where I started getting affinity towards computer science, where I'm just using my both the mathematical and creative skills to do certain things. It started with very basic stuffs like PowerPoint related stuff, and then moved into some HTML, CSS, JavaScript related stuff, and then moved into C, C++, which were like a bit computer sciencey oriented. And then I couldn't stop my learning experiences. I went into doing something called JDCH, a Junior Diploma in Computer Hardware. And then but from there, the interest didn't stop. I went on to do some honors diploma in computer hardware and networking. It was a very pivotal moment in life where I was more affine towards computer science. I think those best periods of life couldn't come back. Yeah, and then I stopped because class 10 was a state board exam and we had to prepare for it. But again, by class 11 and 12, that's where computer science took a different shape with solving algorithmic problems. And whenever I could work out in the class very fast, the solutions, uh, basically comparatively at the top of people who solves quicker, that's where I got some confidence. Thank very much thanks to my professor Prema. She was very much instrumental in telling that, okay, like this is something everybody could learn, and she made sure everybody learned. But she was having more focus on me, ensuring like, Rajal, please get more into the academic oriented stuff rather than focusing on computer science. Because I was not that good in other subjects, but except computer science, she was a very instrumental person in shaping my life. Uh, uh, I think I came a bit late due to some other things which I will explain. But one other person who is a senior, before me, he actually studied in a very good master's program in US and went on to work with Google for almost 8 years, working on Google research problems like the voice assistant which we use, working alongside very good brains like Peter Norvig, who is like author of a seminal artificial intelligence book, which is used across colleges all over the world. Uh, and then he has even worked with Francis Cholet and many other great minds. So I still have some good rapport with him, and we speak a lot about the AI related stuff. But yeah, like that's where by class 11 and 12, which was a pivotal moment in understanding that, yeah, the confidence which I could bring on to solve algorithmic problems was starting. And then the college course selection had some anecdotal evidence, but I was given too much freedom from my family to choose any uh, subject of my interest. They didn't restrict me in any way. Uh, I was totally naive, like that I could change some world. Like I was interested in joining ISRO. My dad was then working in Ahmedabad, especially road near Satellite Road, where there is ISRO station there.
Yes.
Uh, yeah. Uh, so there I just went into the website to understand what sort of
Yeah.
jobs are available. That's where I saw that mechanical was mostly uh, uh, the favored kind of role there. So that's why I chose mechanical there. Uh, so that's one change of trajectory from what I'm really good at. Uh, it's more about an emotional thing rather than what you say, like first principles thinking, which was where I was already a good thing. I was good in programming and related stuff. I didn't choose that at that time, but anyway, it was a nice journey where I was able to enjoy my college life. I would say, like again, the emotional parts of life, and then. Uh, the extended family was into business, so they were asking me to choose a business school, and I did a half-hearted option selection to choose, but I didn't sit off placement until halfway through. So that's where I ended up missing out some good companies, which I really like. But anyway, like. I started midway through the placement journey of college, and I was able to get into a very good corporate called ICICI Securities, which is more about financial advising. A to Z financial products were available from their side. So that's the start of my professional journey. So end of my cocoon life inside or as a very restricted environment. So while doing MBA, like I was again doing some uh, data related projects, which was more about understanding the stock market in a technical analysis kind of project. So this role at ICICI Securities was also aligned with the project, but exactly like we should also be ensuring that the clients are getting more on the exposure. So we do speak about products as well. So it was a very fun journey. Like I was doing very good performance over there. Like uh, and then uh, technically it was one of the best periods in life because I was not a person who is more into speaking rather than like being a bit introverted guy who I was. But this role gave me a confidence as an introvert that speaking well is actually a skill which is learned rather than an inherent skill from birth. So this is something I had been very fortunate to have because at a later point in time, I had a very good mentor in life called Rahul Madhavan. So he's another person like when you mentioned like I came in a very late transition, he is more of an inspiration for me. Like my career journey is resembling his career journey. Only thing is like he is into all premier institutions. Like right now he's completing his IASC PhD. At some point he mentioned to me like as a mentor like it's more like he has been helping me a lot in my life, but I wasn't able to reciprocate it and it felt bad from my end. uh, During a random conversation he would say like if at all he could get a role in Google, he would immediately jump into that without even thinking about anything. So I was able to speak with one very famous personality from the AI side. Like uh, uh, he's the final person from a research paper called "The Attention Is All You Need," which is revolutionizing the AI industry right now. That paper was very influential in bringing out transformers from Google side, which is now the T in ChatGPT. So uh, so I was able to speak with him, asking literally uh, a reference in Google for my mentor Rahul Madhavan. And Rahul Madhavan actually was impressed how you could actually just randomly connect with him. But I owe that uh, 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 what do you say, like confidence to my role at ICICI Securities. So that's the first job which I had. And then meanwhile, while I was taking my professional work, I was also having some social interests in mind. So I had parallelly was interacting with NGOs which has some social connect, like the one which was headed by a person called IAS Sagayam, who is very famous for honesty in Tamil Nadu. So he was even recommended for his honesty by a retired judge called Markandeya Kachu
Yeah.
in a Facebook post during early 2007. So 17. So he was like a very good person. Like I was into his organization, understanding the social needs basically, rather than just doing my job and then just not thinking about what repercussions would it have to the extended population, the human population. I would say I wouldn't necessarily create a demarcation in a country wide or something like that. But that's where I wanted to, I was able to connect socially what happens. Uh, so that's for social interests which were aligning. So I'll just connect it back with the data science transition
Mhm.
part. So after ICICI, I was actually joining this bank called Bank of New York Mellon,
Yeah.
which had a Chennai office. So in there, basically, I had a internal hackathon where I was able to crack the hackathon, and that actually kindled my interest on analytics. So, meanwhile, I was learning more about data science related personalities, including a person called DJ Patil, who actually coined the word data science, and he was known for being inducted as the US chief data scientist by President Barack Obama himself at some point.
Yeah.
Uh, and I was able to fortunate to visit him live with this interaction with UIDAI's other father, I would say, like
Yeah.
Nandan Nilekani, who is another very good influence of my life. I like him very much. I would have a conversation. I would really wanted to have a one-on-one conversation with him before I die. So it happened in Richmond Circle in Bangalore at mid 2017. It was an eye-opening conversation which helped me to understand, okay, like there's more to data science, which could connect businesses and also like with social interests. So speaking about data analysis, I was also fortunate enough to do a course on the course title was Data Analysis for Social Scientists by MIT. Actually, it's still online on the platform EDX. The course, even while starting, it was speaking about an electricity related analytics done by MIT experts at Gujarat at even the first lecture itself. It's a again a course which kindled me to tell, okay, like there is a connect between social responsibility and also analytics. I was exploring more about this IFMR program by Raghuram Rajan and this JPAL Institute, the MIT Poverty Action Lab. Uh, I was following all sort of people, and including a person called Sendai Mullainathan. Like he's an American professor on computation and behavioral science at UC Booth School of Business. These are like major personalities worldwide. I was able to follow apart from you as well, sir. So I was following you basically on Quora. And then I was meeting a person called Sudalai Rajkumar. Like he's a Kaggle grandmaster. Like Kaggle is a machine learning kind of a competition hackathon which is hosted across the world, and that is ranking at many different levels from novice to grandmaster. And at multiple levels, when you have a data set, maintaining a data set which is helpful for people, people would rank them, and you become a grandmaster in that. You become a grandmaster in competitions in that four different spectrums. He's a grandmaster right now from India. Uh, I was able to meet him in an event hosted by a firm. It's an organization called Analytics Society of India, which was headed by IIM Bangalore's decision scientist, sciences fame, U. Dinesh Kumar. He was also in that event. So I was able to help run that event by along with my ERP professor from MBA time. So for this reason or some reason, like they gave me a facilitation by asking you, Professor U. Danesh Kumar sir, to give his first book to me. Like he wrote a book called Business Analytics: The Science of Data-Driven Decision Making, and I was fortunate enough to be the first recipient of his book after the publication in that event. And I took a very iconic photo. I still have that as a very, um, uh, it kindles my memory about it. So in that book, Professor again discusses about NGO supporting food and education of children, and makes us realize how data science is a fascinating field, transcending domain, like because he discusses many more things about
Mhm.
analytics. So that's again another good kind of a person who I could look up to when I was just transitioning into data science, so that I could have a benchmark in life. So those are like very good people who I came across. As I mentioned, like Narendran Anna, like Rahul Madhavan and Sulle Rajkumar Anna. So all these people were very much influential in my life. And the fourth most important pillar in my life was when I started an analytics role at NPTEL, which is an IIT Madras educational arm, which helps learners across India earn certifications on multiple subjects conducted by top IIScs, IITs, uh, Chennai Mathematical Institute, and many different institutions. I was able to work under a research scientist, senior research scientist called uh, Jay Krishnan. He's my first major guru in analytics, who I work directly. He's a PhD from IIT Bombay. Those again were like very interesting times after my the class 7 to 9's computer science learning thing, because he helped me understood what is the research perspective of data science, and there are some business perspectives as well, which I will come later. But research perspective is something I got it from him. Like I was able to learn about different perception by interacting with multiple different personalities from different research areas, uh, and also like I was able to work alongside students from Chennai Mathematical Institute, uh, which is like a very top mathematics organization. People from there came up in our analytics journey, where the machine learning part of the things has to be uh, deployed. So all these things would require more math. So that's where these people came in. At again NPTEL, I was able to interact with other NIT, IIT professors, and able to watch some other people's humble nature, I would say, like including a person called Balaraman Ravindran. He's a reinforcement learning fame in India. Like he just travels in Scooty Pep. So that's one eye opener on being humble. So uh, like I took another course on classical AI, where the professor would come in a bicycle. So these are all things which help me shape the perceptions of people, how exactly they are being humble, despite being in top positions. So I'll speak more about the AI part little later. But coming to the career where I was doing this analytics role at NPTEL, I felt that okay, like there has to be some end-to-end implementation related things which are missing out. So I joined a boutique analytics firm, which was a startup at Chennai. I learned more about the professional analytics journey there. I was able to teach some people, and it was a very uh, good uh, journey there. I was able to interact with multiple people because it was a startup. So little later, I just moved to Mu Sigma as a decision scientist. So uh, while doing my MBA, like I told, like I had this half-hearted decision of getting into data science. Sorry, the business-related stuff, because I wasn't more of an extrovert. So moving into New Sigma was a game changer for me with respect to opening my eye on like the business related part, because I right now I have love for business, and basically I'm just regretting why I didn't do my MBA properly. But yeah, thanks all to my founder and CEO, Mr. Dheeraj Rajaram, who has created Mu Sigma, which is known for being a pioneer in defining the category decision sciences, well before even DJ Patil coined the word data science. So that's a defining moment when I joined. I feel proud to be in Dheeraj's den here. So uh, yeah, so right now I'm working with multiple analytics related roles, and moving into uh, transitioning into kind of leading teams here. And it's a wonderful journey right now until this point. Learned many aspects of AI as well. So while uh, because while working with IIT Madras and taking that course on AI, I realized even how human minds used to work, because artificial intelligence is just trying to simulate intelligence at some level, not at every level, because at some point you will have uh, algorithms which will go better than human capability as well. So many things come into my mind. So AI, classical AI is basically class divided into two different subsets. So one is search methods and the other is knowledge methods. When I say search methods, you have to apply something about first principle thinking, I would say. Like when we speak about the knowledge related part, which is like another category of classical AI, is where analogies work well. So basically, when we do machine learning, it comes into the knowledge based thing where you have uh, uh, data which is coming in, basically a knowledge of the past, and we are trying to basically interpolate it into the future or extend it to the future, understanding what it is. So this is something I have a good thought on, basically an opinion on AI, first principle thinking versus analogies. Uh, the recent hype about something called RAGs or AG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. Uh, it's like again helping me understand how even human minds work. Like uh, so, uh, so let's say I'm asking somebody about a specific thing in mind, and they might be able to say something at one point in time, and then little later they would actually say that okay, this is another perception aspect. So uh, so people are more oriented towards uh, thinking a specific thing in mind, and that might change later, but it's not like they are actually telling a lie or something. It might be like that is something they might be able to bring it on the top of their head. So that's one thing about RAG, which is like right now the state of the art for generative AI and related stuff. One more opinion I just have is like how AI should be considered as an ANI rather than an AGI or ASI, because AI as a term might be more of a buzzword, but what essentially the deep learning part of AI is actually doing is more of narrow intelligence. When we speak about narrow intelligence, the data is based on very structured, similar kind of data, basically. So they call it representation learning. Basically, when you try to make a image as a vector, that vector across multiple dimensions is just going to be an information on just one subject, as opposed to a tabular data where every column is just going to tell you a different thing. So that's where there is a problem with deep learning as well, which cannot extend to tabular data, much like other algorithms like uh, boosting, which is like now the state of the art in tablet data. So I would say like there are major concerns right now on AGI or even ASI right now, as people are hyping about. Uh, because there are two more things, but of course I wouldn't discount humans capability there. Like whatever we are right now, I could see Subodh Madhu sir like over the internet is actually a product of the human invention, the ingenuity they had created. So I would never discount on uh, humans capability, but right now I don't feel like there is a thing to fear, because the problem to be solved is not algorithms, it's more about sentience, because until sentience has to be solved, it might not be the case always, because it has to think on its own. Until then, it's not a thing to be worried, I would feel. That's one another opinion. And when people are like trying to say like AI is going to rule over the world, they are also discounting on certain things called the complexity. So you have a situation which is simple, complicated, and then complex. So complexity is something we could never understand. I think at least right now we do not have tools to understand it. There is an entire study called complexity science, which is like dedicated to learn about it. And uh, that institute is called Santa Fe Institute. It's in US. So they have all these subjects on complexity actually. So you could say that okay, like uh, AI could actually do certain things, but what happens is, in reality, at least in the business front, there is this inclination towards understanding interpretable things, which is where like your subject is coming, sir, like the econometrics part of things, like where you understand the causality in the first place rather than trying to just speak about the prediction. So people are more worried on these things, but one major limitations is like not even the best of the AI minds, at least from my understanding right now, do not know that how exactly AI models are actually working, the deep learning part of it, or like the more complex model gets. It's solving problems, but they know that there is a trade-off for interpretability versus prediction. So that's one major trade-off always I would teach my people whenever I'm teaching ML, or that's a major understanding always people have. So that's again another perspective on why we shouldn't be bothered about AI much. Uh, and yesterday I was traveling in Bangalore Metro, and I was like waiting to actually see that how people are boarding the train over there. So some people were like forced to tell, okay, just please wait, because my station is kind of a terminal station in one line over here. So basically, there would be some cleaning operations which happens there. So so you still need somebody with some authority to say that, hey, don't go. There is a cleaning process in place, and people were like uh, uh, forced to uh, put a policeman to say all these things, because I would say like uh, we would also need to understand a bit on the artificial stupidity more than artificial intelligence, because that's where actually you have the plethora of things to be solved. So one example is so let's say ChatGPT had this issue which was kind of viral. So sometimes ChatGPT would not give you an answer, but let's say we are just trying to say that, hey, you can do it, bro, something like that, and it was actually giving answers. Right now, it has been solved. I could understand that because this mentor of mine, Rahul Madhavan, he is also working on all these papers and has been publishing in Neurips and many other top journals to mitigate all these issues. But yeah, like uh, we haven't solved all these problems. That's what I'm just trying to say about. And when you don't understand how exactly a model is actually giving you the result, so that's another problem when I speak about the prediction versus interpretability back. Because uh, one case which happened in an health insurance company, or I would say it's something related to health in US. They had deployed a complex model, and they were not able to understand why there was a bias towards a certain group of people, and they had to scrap out the algorithm as such, even though it was giving some good accuracies as far as how they have actually trained. So that's one another aspect which people have to think about, because the bias is actually induced by the person who is actually uh, creating that model. So it's not about uh, 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 AI taking over the world. It's more about who is actually inherently developing that AI. So that's why you need a proper representative sample across the world to actually work on it. So it's very important for multiple groups to come and then put forward their contributions on artificial intelligence, because it's more like you are missing out on certain people over the other. So uh, uh, will AI take over jobs? That's another concern people have. Maybe or maybe not. So if you think about the current AI, when I tell the classical AI part where machine learning, deep learning are coming, it's in the knowledge-based thing. So you still need people to actually develop and keep a check uh, uh, to understand where exactly it is actually going.
Mm.
And once things are getting more complex, you still would need more people, from my understanding, because I just watched this uh, talk after ChatGPT came viral from a person who is called as the godfather of AI, uh, Jeffrey Hinton. He actually gave two perspectives on it. what would happen after AI becomes more powerful. So he said like maybe more people would not be needed, or fewer people would be needed for doing most of the jobs, or more people could do more jobs. I would rather bet on the second thing. So let's try to bring up prosperity to all the people rather than just being it confined to certain
mm,
people. And
mm,
it's not something people should be worried about.
mm,
Uh, if you, I have to say the positive aspects of it, like there are uh, uh, almost, I think I would say no people would have not understood the word Google, at least in the traditional sense. Say they could actually uh, be a they are most of the people are like understanding what's a Google related to at least the newer generation. So even a Google search is actually an AI. So when they developed, it was for AI. So it's still helping us when there is a plethora of options to search about. So it has its limitations, of course, but yeah, like it's solving most of the problems. So that's why I feel like we have to bet on it. And of course, companies are working on responsible AI. And even today, I was watching a LinkedIn article post. Basically, a person was tracking the tweets and understanding where exactly is the proportion of tweets about OpenAI is about, and even Microsoft research. He had made it in the background. Uh, Initially, it was more about the models and less about responsible AI. Right now, it's moving in the other direction. So I think we are in safe hands. And of course, like it's based on the opinion of multiple people, and I just have my very niche opinion on it, and people could differ on it. But yeah, like we are in for a very great future. When I speak about this thing, like I couldn't stop thinking about one more aspect which I had been following. Like I do follow a similar line to data science, where you do forecasting for businesses or like other thing here in data science. But astrology is something we do for individual persons, countries
yeah.
as well. So I'm also like little inclined towards it. So there is a uh, hierarchy, or I would say the chronology in astrology, where sun comes first, moon comes second, and the planet Mars comes third, and a planet called Rahu, which is not a real planet, it comes fourth. And then fifth is Guru, which is not something we are right now. I'll explain one by one each step. It's a very good analogy to think about. I had visited multiple gurus while learning this amazing subject. And once one guru has actually told it in a random video, I wouldn't able to even uh, point out where exactly he told, because I just follow almost all of his videos, and he is doing video every other day. So in YouTube, so I may not be able to pinpoint where exactly it's coming up. But yeah, so this chronology, if we think about sun, which is coming first when no other planets were there. Let's say Big Bang had just happened and sun just came out, and there's no planet in the solar system. And then slowly moon came out, and then due to the inherent cooling nature of it, one asteroid or some other planet like Earth was actually cooled down from Earth's from sun's effect. So that's where life formed, and we are here. Yeah, we are here, and then for the last few years, and it's debatable based on religion. I wouldn't want to go there, as we actually agreed that this is not, this has to be science oriented. So let's say uh, Mars as a planet indicates something about violence or something about land. If you think about until at least the World War II, people were just fighting about for land basically, and you had violence. And then even Subodh sir, you would have but much better perspective, but this is a perspective I just had. Until that point, we had this thing called where you have to have gold for every amount which is in circulation in a country. So
Yeah.
I think in the Bretton Woods Agreement, it was actually told that, okay, let's go to the US first thing by tagging all the currency, pegging all the currencies to US. So I would say like after this 1970, all this fiat currency actually came in.
Right.
Until this point, you had multiple uh, things happening across the globe, which were like more into violence, and also something which was more inclined towards your uh, uh, land-related issues. All these things were happening. But Rahu as a planet is actually ruling right now, according to my major guru in astrology. Rahu as a planet indicates artificialness, marketing, or something related to communication. Right now, I could see my famous, very uh, very influential person, Subodh Maru sir, from a distance. It's because of the artificial communication which is created.
Yeah.
We are speaking, but it's still not real. So these things are artificial. Money is artificial right now. Obviously, we have fiat money, which is like I don't know where exactly I am in financial terms, but yeah, like I think it's again artificial. Artificial things are ruling the world. So I would say like this is an era for artificial intelligence as well. So that's where I'm actually coming. So it's time for us to embrace it rather than being, I would say, Luddite. Raghuram Rajan sir's famous quote, like the Luddite word. Uh, so we should be able to work along with artificial intelligence because we have so much more to explore. We are just in Earth. We could even go beyond Earth and explore more about our solar system and even the universe for the matter. And for that, we need many more things. But yeah, like AI might be a good start. So I would like to quickly speak about this data science role. Shortcomings, I would say. I wouldn't say it's like a absolute shortcoming. We have some methodologies to overcome it. Uh, I was actually reading a book on super forecasting where the author speak about something called an IARPA challenge. IARPA is a name borrowed from this organization called DARPA, Defense Advanced Research
Yeah.
Organization. So one interesting thing about DARPA, I would say, like for people is, yeah, it's a very uh, important organization to US
Yeah.
because it was also being portrayed that it was helping to create the first internet in US around 1960s. Uh, one crunchy fact, I would say, like Aarti Prabhakar was an Indian who went into being heading DARPA for some time. Uh, uh, when I speak about the other competitors who would come close to say that, yeah, I created internet. Another person is called Sapir Bashia, who created this Microsoft Hotmail, which moved into Outlook. And one more person people would say is Shiva Yadure. Like, yeah, he has a patent or something he created at age 16. He was from a place called Tirunelveli, very close to my hometown. He's now MIT scientist working on some really good stuff. So Subodh sir
Okay,
is
Raj,
having
we
some
have
many
only
connections.
1 minute left before the next person, so please conclude.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, sir. So I just wanted to conclude that, okay, so shortcomings of data science in that book, like super forecasting mentioned, like probabilistic thinking can induce emotions, which are more of opposite of emotions. But I say Mu Sigma and other data science organization might have this work hard, play harder approach to it, which could help navigate these things. And I would like to conclude for younger generations, people like according to astrology, there is something called the Shastashtanga. Like people could have only one of three items explained by a sixth house: uh, enemies, diseases, and uh, uh, health. So I would say like US is a very good example where they are keeping on revisiting the debt ceiling, but being good in military, unassailable food in military by not having much enemies and also having quality of healthcare. So that's one thing on astrology. So people can't have everything in life. I would say, according to astrology, there might be places where you could understand how exactly your life could shape up. But I would say, rather than thinking even about astrology, it's better that you just go on what your heart says, because astrology is again telling you that. So you don't even see need to see astrology. Go do your best. and work for the people and have a great life. And thank you for having me, sir. It's a very
Okay,
honor to
Raj,
have.
it's a fascinating journey that you've had, and you have still a lot of way to go. You are on top of things. That's really great to hear that you have been able to move to there. Let's end it here today. I'll be back with another young person or an expert soon, or somebody like Raj, who's both an expert and young. So let's do that, and let's end it here today. Thank you, Raj.